Hello everyone. I, Dr. Seema Tandon, Deputy Director, RRTC, UPTSU, welcome and thank Dr. Ramona for taking out time to take a session on twin delivery. Over to you, Dr. Ramona.
So I take over, and topic would be twins and multiple gestation per se. Now the agenda of today's meeting would be presentation, and apart from the presentation, after I've completed it, there would be a brainstorming that. So now coming on to the multiple pregnancies in which twins, that is development of two fetuses, is the rarely there could be development of three fetuses, that is triplets, four fetuses, that is quadruplets, there can be five fetuses, that is quintuplets, there can be six fetuses, that is sextuplets, etc., can also occur. Then coming on to the cause of twinning and other multiple pregnancies is either hereditary, or it may be due to multiple ovulation occurring either naturally or induced by drugs which are used in infertility treatment or in the IVF programs, that is the in vitro fertilization programs. Then a little about in what twinning or multiple gestation is common. To emphasize that in Negroes, in the race of Negroes, the twinning or multiple gestation is more common. It's more common with increased gestational age. It is more common in the multiparas. Then hereditary also has quite a say. So family history of multifetal gestation is also common when you elicit the history. Then when it comes to nutritional status, usually well-nourished women uh, usually present with multiple gestation. Then of course ART, that is the artificial reproductive techniques. So ovulation induction with clomiphene citrate, gonadotropins, and IVF, as I previously said, could result in multifetal gestations. Then and especially twins. Then there could be multifetal gestation or twinning, which is very common in conception after stopping the OCPs, that is oral combined contraceptive pills. Now coming on to the types of twins, the twins could be monozygotic, which accounts for about 1/3. Then twins could be dizygotic, which is the commonest, which accounts for about 2/3. Then coming on to the genesis of twins, twins could be dizygotic twins, which are the fraternal or the binovular twins, then fertilization of two ova by two sperms. Now you can appreciate in the picture given alongside. Now what you see in the first picture, the upper left picture is the monochorionic monoamniotic. That is, both the twins are in one sac. Then the picture just alongside that, the upper picture onto the right, that shows a monochorionic and a diamniotic. That is the core. There is a single chorion and there are two amniotic sacs inside. Here you can appreciate within each amniotic sac there is a placenta each. Whereas in the first picture, if you appreciate, it's one sac, two placentas alongside in the one sac, or it could be just, it appears like a combined single placenta. All right. Then there could be dichorionic, diamniotic, wherein you can see it is totally the sacs. If you appreciate above and below, you will see that even the chorion is dipping. So there are in between the two amniotic sacs, there is a chorionic vertical line, or I would say, just to show you that it's a dichorionic diamniotic. That is the second membrane which is present between the two amniotic sacs. Then you can see is the dichorionic, the diamniotic with separate placentas, and the cavities are entirely different. In the one that is onto its left here, the placentas are fused. Now, how will you make a diagnosis of multiple gestation or twin pregnancies? History is very important. We often get a history of ovulation induction drugs for infertility. Then there is a history of twins in the family. There is excessive nausea and vomiting in the first trimester. Usually, the woman complains of this. Then the usual rate of abdominal enlargement is more. That is what we say when we examine. We say that the fundal height is more than the period of amenorrhea. So here there is there is more enlargement of the abdomen at any gestational period than in a singleton pregnancy. So unusual rate of abdominal enlargement. Then there is excessive fetal movements, because obviously there are two fetuses with more fetal parts. So there is excessive fetal movements. There is excessive fetal movements. Then breathlessness in the later months of pregnancy. That is because the woman is carrying two fetuses. The abdomen is distended. Obviously, the diaphragm is pushed up. The lung capacity is slightly reduced. So she complains of breathlessness in the later months of pregnancy. These were what.
Yeah.
Now, when you come on to the symptoms of this was what we get on history. Now, when we look at the symptoms, if we start from the first trimester, there is history of hyperemesis gravidarum. What is hyperemesis gravidarum? That is, the woman complains of excessive vomiting during the first trimester, vomiting which is more than usual. Then there is cardiorespiratory embarrassment, palpitation, or shortness of breath. Then coming on to tendency of swelling of the legs. That is because why? Because the abdomen is over distended. There is more pressure on the IVC or the inferior vena cava. Then there is what do you call, when there is a backflow of blood, there is stasis, which leads to a tendency of swelling of the legs. Then there is a tendency to develop varicosities or varicose veins. Hemorrhoids are very common, again because of overdistension. Then excessive abdominal enlargement will cause, per se, it leads to a lot of problems. So there is excessive abdominal enlargement, which is a symptom. The woman will say कि पेट बहुत ज़्यादा फूल रहा है, तो that is one symptom. Then excessive fetal movements. She cannot appreciate कि भाई कुछ उसको लगता है कि बहुत सारा fetal movement हो रहा है. So that is one symptom again. So hyperemesis gravidarum, cardiorespiratory embarrassment, palpitation, shortness of breath, as I told you, because of the diaphragm being pushed up. Then tendency of swelling of legs, varicose veins, hemorrhoids, excessive abdominal enlargement, and excessive fetal movements. ठीक है ना. ये बार बार अगेन मैं इसलिए बोल रही हूँ कि पता चले कि पेशेंट के कहने से भी आपने हिस्ट्री एलिसिट किया, आपने सिम्टम लिया, तो आपको काफी सारा एक दिमाग में बात बैठ जाती है कि yes, this is probably multifetal gestation. Then what could be the predisposing factors? Then prevalence of anemia is more than in singleton pregnancy. Obviously double pregnancy है, double the demand है, तो anemia का prevalence होता है. Then unusual weight gain होता है, which is not explained by preeclampsia or obesity. Then there is evidence of preeclampsia, which is a very, very common association in almost 25 to 30%. आपके guidelines में 25%, so we'll stick to 25%. There is evidence of preeclampsia, which has 25% more common association in cases of twin pregnancy or multifetal gestations. Then coming on to what we get on abdominal examination, when we inspect the abdomen, अगर आप एक दिमाग में एक पिक्चर बैठाएं कि जब आप एक सिंगलटन प्रेग्नेंट लेडी का एब्डोमेन देखते हैं तो थोड़ा सा आपको एक लंबा सा elongated सा enlargement of uterus लगता है. पर when we look at the abdominal enlargement in a multifetal or a twin gestation, we see it's barrel shape, मतलब पूरा का पूरा abdomen भरा हुआ दिखता है. So here I would like to emphasize the elongated shape of a normal pregnant uterus is changed to a more or less barrel shape and the abdomen is unduly enlarged. मतलब ये नहीं कि longitudinally है, even हर तरफ से वो full abdomen type का दिखता है क्योंकि दो fetuses हैं, दो fetal parts हैं. So the elongated shape of the normal pregnant uterus is changed to a more or less a barrel shaped abdomen, which is because it is unduly enlarged. Now we try to examine the fundus, the abdomen. So सबसे पहले हम क्या देखते हैं जब हम palpate करते हैं, जो कि हम आपको videos में भी दिखाएंगे, उससे और clear हो जाएगा. So the fundal height, when we see the fundal height is more than the period of amenorrhea. अब जैसे हम कहें कि ये 20 weeks का वो patient एक fundal height is 20 weeks of gestation, पर जब हम fundal height देखते हैं तो हमको usually 24-26 weeks की. Why? Because there are two fetuses. It's not a singleton pregnancy. So this is what I mean by saying that the fundal height is more than the period of amenorrhea. First, then the girth is more than normal. अब मैंने बोला longitudinal enlarge नहीं है, वो जो है barrel shaped है, पूरा का पूरा abdomen full दिखता है. So the girth is more than normal. The girth is more than normal and the fundal height is more than normal. Then when you palpate जैसे कि मैं शुरू से ही मल्टीफीटल में और ट्विंस में कह रही हूँ, there is palpation of too many fetal parts. वैसे हम एक सिंगलटन देखते हैं तो एक तरफ जब palpate करते हैं तो पेट में एक तरफ जो है स्मूथ कर्व्ड बैक नजर आती है और दूसरी तरफ जब हम palpate करते हैं हमें नोबुलर स्ट्रक्चर्स मिलती हैं जो कि फीटल पार्ट्स होती हैं। लेकिन अब जब ट्विंस होते हैं हम palpate करते हैं तो हमें बहुत सारे फीटल पार्ट्स मिलते हैं। So this is what I mean by saying palpation of too many fetal parts. Then there is palpation of two fetal heads. अब fetal head कैसा लगता है जब हम एक सिंगलटन प्रेगनेंसी देखते हैं तो हम यूजुअली अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी यही पढ़ाते हैं कॉलेज में, जब आप लोग हमारे पास ट्रेनिंग के लिए आते हैं तब भी हम बताते हैं कि द हेड इज फर्म, राउंडेड, ग्लोबुलर. That is the head, and the feel of the breech or the podalic extremity of the fetus would be, it is soft to firm होता है और जो है broad होता है और ये ब्रीच होता है। हेड की तरह ये ग्लोबुलर और हार्ड नहीं होता है। तो ये दो होते हैं। लेकिन अगर हमें जब हम एक मल्टीपल फीटल या ट्विंस को जब हम पैल्पेट करते हैं तो हमें दो फीटल हेड मिलते हैं, दो ग्लोबुलर फर्म टू हार्ड स्ट्रक्चर्स मिलती हैं। तो इसको कि हम व्हेन वी पैल्पेट two fetal heads, we say this is twin pregnancy. Then palpation of three fetal poles. Now for fetal poles, what do I mean? One is at the symphysis pubis, just above at the pelvis, नीचे pelvic grip में, और दो हमें दो फंडस में मिलते हैं। तो अगर हमें दो हेड मिल रहे हैं और तीन fetal poles मिल रहे हैं, दो हेड और तीसरी साइड हमें एक ब्रीच मिल रहा है, so then we confirm that yes, see, ultimate confirmation would be on ultrasound, but on palpation then yes, it raises the suspicion कि हाँ ये twin pregnancy है। So I would recap again. The first thing is fundal height more than the period of amenorrhea. Two, the girth is more, as I appreciated on inspection that the uterus is not longitudinally enlarged. It is enlarged in the form of a barrel. It is full. So there is the girth is more than normal. Then the palpation, there is palpation of too many fetal parts. Then the fourth would be palpation of two fetal heads. And lastly, palpation of three fetal poles. So again, once again, कि किसी का मिस आउट ना हो, तुरंत दिमाग में आप घुमाइए एक एक के बाद एक, अगर ये मिलते चले तो इट रेजेस अ सस्पिशन कि हाँ ये ट्विन फीटल पार्ट्स है। यू नो कि आपको ये पेशेंट शायद डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेफर करनी है अगर आपके पास अल्ट्रासाउंड की सुविधा नहीं है टू कंफर्म ट्विन्स। देन तो आपको जो है हिस्ट्री के बेसिस पे चले गए, हम हिस्ट्री के बाद उसके पेशेंट के सिम्टम्स पे चले गए। उसके बाद हम जब एग्जामिनेशन पे आए तो हमने एग्जामिनेशन ऑलवेज स्टार्ट्स विद एन इन्फेक्शन, इट कम्स इन आवर यूजी करिकुलम। इंस्पेक्शन में हमने शेप ऑफ द एब्डोमेन देखा, उससे सस्पिशन आया, फिर हमने पैल्पेट किया। सो पैल्पेट में फंडल हाइट मोर देन द पीरियड ऑफ एमेनोरिया, द गर्थ इज मोर देन नॉर्मल, वी पैल्पेट टू मेनी फीटल पार्ट्स, पैल्पेशन ऑफ टू fetal heads and palpation of three fetal poles. Then when we come on to auscultation, auscultation mein there is palpation of two distinct fetal heart sounds. अब टू डिस्टिंक्ट फीटल हार्ट साउंड से मेरा ये कहना है कि आप ये कहेंगे कि जब हम सिंगलटन में भी जब पैल्पेट ऑस्कल्टेट करते हैं तो स्टेथो हम एक जगह रखते हैं, फीटल हार्ट साउंड सुनाई देती है, और फिर हम थोड़ा सा खिसका के थोड़ी सी आगे रखते हैं तो भी फीटल हार्ट सुनाई देती है। पर आपने कभी ये अप्रिशिएट अगली बार करके देखिएगा कि वो पूरा जो पाथ आपने फॉलो किया है वो सेम फीटल हार्ट आपको दूसरी पोजीशन तक उसी पाथ में सुनाई देती चलती है। कहीं पे ज्यादा तेज सुनाई देती है ऑस्कल्टेशन पे, चाहे आप फीटल डॉपलर से सुने चाहे आप स्टेथ से सुने, तो और कहीं पे जो है वो ज्यादा तेज। बट नाउ इन केसेस ऑफ ट्विंस व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ टू डिस्टिंक्ट फीटल हार्ट्स, तो ये दोनों जगह के बीच का जो इंटरफेस होता है उसमें फीटल हार्ट नहीं सुनाई देती है। और जब हम दोनों का रेट देखते हैं तो दोनों का रेट में फर्क होता है। प्रॉब्ली वन कैन हैव अ फीटल हार्ट रेट ऑफ 140 और 150, द अदर कैन हैव अ फीटल हार्ट रेट ऑफ 156 160, मतलब देयर इज अ डिफरेंस। सो यूजुअली से के there is a two observers auscultating, so there is a difference in fetal heart rates about 10 beats per minute. इस चीज को हम आपको आगे अपने डेमो के मॉड्यूल में भी दिखाएंगे और तब भी आप अप्रिशिएट करेगा। तो कहने का मतलब ये कि there are two distinct fetal heart sounds with a zone of silence in between, जैसा कि मैंने आपको अभी बताया before I read out your ये जो आपकी स्लाइड पे है। and there is a difference of at least 10 beats per minute in both the fetal hearts, जिसको कि अब आप जब डेमो में देखेंगे तो आप और अच्छा अप्रिशिएट कर पाएंगे। Now coming on to investigations. So on investigations, ultrasonography is very important. On sonography in multiple pregnancy, It is done to obtain certain information. तो उस information में क्या है, आपने 2 सैक्स देखे विथ फीटल पोल्स एंड कार्डिक एक्टिविटी, आपने दोनों का देखा कि ये क्या है, लाई लॉन्गिट्यूडनल है। अब लाई लॉन्गिट्यूडनल है तो प्रेजेंटेशन क्या है, क्या ये वर्टेक्स है, क्या ये ब्रीच है, क्या ये क्या है, और आपने अप्रिशिएट किया उनकी कार्डिक एक्टिविटी। दिस अल्ट्रासाउंड ने आपका डायग्नोसिस कंफर्म किया, जो कि आप अभी तक हिस्ट्री के बेसिस पे और अपने एग्जामिनेशन के बेसिस पे कर रहे थे। देन दोनों का वायबिलिटी, देन देयर इज एन एंटिटी कॉल्ड वैनिशिंग ट्विन। वैनिशिंग ट्विन ये होता है कि ट्विन प्रेगनेंसी शुरुआत में तो 2 ट्विन्स थे, उसके बाद फिर एक सिंगलटन रह गया, दूसरा वाला ट्विन जो है वो ग्रोथ ही नहीं कर पाया, और वो वैनिशिंग ट्विन कई बार तो वो कभी भी अल्ट्रासाउंड पे भी नहीं दिखता है, कभी वो एक छोटा सा स्मॉल सा फीटस वैनिश्ड टाइप एकदम ही जो है स्केलेटनाइज होके साइड में पड़ा रहता है। एट टाइम्स it is not even seen appreciated on ultrasonography at time, at delivery pata chalta hai, oh, this was that vanishing twin or the atrophied twin, which is just like. Then we see for chorionicity. Chorionicity is best appreciated between 6 to 9, or a double placenta. Then we go and we look for correct dating. We can date exactly the sometimes there is mistaken date, so dating is very important. वो हमें पता चल जाता है, किसी fetus में कोई anomaly है वो पता चल जाता है. We monitor the growth at every 3 to 4 weeks interval पे, because now there are two gestation, 2 fetuses. कितना हमारी कंट्री में कितना जो है, everybody is not urban, rural population में कितना महिला, she started off with what hemoglobin, कितना उसको ड्रग कॉम्प्लायंस है, कितना उसने फॉलो किया, कितना वो अच्छे से रेस्ट कर रही है, तो ऑल दीज चीजों को हम मॉनिटर करते हैं एवरी 3 to 4 weeks बाय गेटिंग अल्ट्रासोनोग्राफी डन. वी कैन पिक अप कि ये इंट्रायूट्राइन ग्रोथ रिस्ट्रिक्शन तो नहीं हो गया. सो हियर फॉर IUGR, इंट्रायूट्राइन ग्रोथ रिस्ट्रिक्शन, आपकी जिसको कि हम फीटल FGR बोलते हैं, फीटल ग्रोथ रिस्ट्रिक्शन भी बोलते हैं, IUGR बोला करते थे, नाउ वी से इट इज fetal growth restriction, so that we can pick up. Then presentation and lie, as I already told you. Then twin to twin transfusion is an entity. जब दोनों twins जो है connected होते हैं, एक twin को उतना नहीं मिल पाता तो उसमें growth restriction होती है, दूसरे twin को ज्यादा मिल जाता है. So this is twin to twin transfusion studies syndrome, which we can pick up on Doppler studies. That is अगर आपके यहाँ सुविधा हो इन सब चीजों के लिए, we can localize the placenta के placenta कहाँ है, we can look for amount of amniotic fluid. So all these things a sonography can tell us. Then radiography again has limited role. अगर कुछ भी नहीं है तो कम से कम ये बता सकता है कि जो है लाई क्या है, दोनों की स्पाइन, फीटल स्पाइन बताता है. वैसे रेडियोग्राफी करते नहीं है, लेकिन दोनों की अगर फीटल स्पाइन दिख जाती है, या अगर रेडियोग्राफी का इंपॉर्टेंस आता है कि अगर सोनोग्राफी नहीं है या कोई IUD हो गया है उसमें कुछ, तो स्पाइन आप देख के समझ सकते हो कि नॉर्मल डिलीवर कर सकता है कि इवेंचुअली सी सेक्शन होगा. तो फीटल स्पाइन ट्रांसवर्स में पड़ी है, लॉन्गिट्यूडनल पड़ी है. देन यस्टरइयर्स में, अब थोड़ा सा मैं आपको बता देती हूँ कि जो है यस्टरइयर्स में रेडियोग्राफी करी जाती थी just to see pelvic capacity, but now we have other modalities and clinical assessment is the best assessment. Then there can be some biochemical tests which are done, but which are again not very diagnostic. That is the maternal serum chorionic gonadotropin, usually twins में ज़्यादा होता है. Alpha fetoprotein can be done, then unconjugated estriol. These investigations can be done. Now coming on to differential diagnosis of increased fundal height. अब आपको period of gestation से ज़्यादा मिला fundal height. So first and foremost, there could be a full bladder. So always examine the patient after you've asked her to evacuate the bladder. She could be a case of mistaken dates. Of course, mistaken dates is very, very common. तो आप वो आपकी एक्सपर्टीज पे है कि आप कितना अच्छा हिस्ट्री एलिसिट कर देते हो. तो हम तो वी आर वेरी पर्टिकुलर कि हम जब आपको अंग्रेजी का महीना बताते हैं तो हम हिंदी का भी महीना बताते हैं. 10 ल्यूनर मंथ्स होते हैं, या आप उसको जो है त्योहारों के हिसाब से पूछ सकते हैं, या आप उसको जो है क्या कहते हैं महीनों के उतरते चढ़ते भी पूछ सकते हैं. सो यू गेट एन एस्टिमेट. If not, so it can be a case of mistaken dates. Here when we teach our students, it is very important. As an obstetrician, हम third year से ही हम सब MBBS में हमने पढ़ा है कि history taking is a very important part of any sort of diagnosis. So wrong dates को हम exclude कर सकते हैं. साथ में जब हम अल्ट्रासाउंड कराते हैं तो हमें exactly clear हो जाता है. Then there can be fetal macrosomia, again gestational diabetes mellitus होता है, या when we are eliciting history, then we can elicit, we can take history of diabetes in the family. Then there can be space occupying lesion in the uterus like fibroids with pregnancy. Then there can be ovarian tumors with pregnancy. Adnexal mass हो सकता है pregnancy के साथ. There can be pregnancy associated with ascites, जिसमें कि there is increase in fundal height. Then it could be molar pregnancy. That is again a very important differential diagnosis. So then coming on to lie and presentation. अगर हम lie and presentation देखें तो 90% of the time longitudinal lie होता है. Longitudinal lie में क्या हो सकता है? Vertex भी हो सकता है, breach भी. तो अगर आपको दोनों बच्चे longitudinal lie में मिल रहे हैं और दोनों vertex है, वो 40% association में होता है. First vertex, second breach, it's about 28%. First breach and second vertex could be 9%. Both breach 6%. Then थोड़े और कम क्या कहते हैं percentages के साथ they could be vertex with transverse, breach with transverse, or there could be both transverse also. So it is very important to know कि जो है क्या lie है और क्या presentation है. Then coming on to complications, which are the maternal complications during pregnancy. अब maternal complications में क्या क्या हो सकता है? अगर early pregnancy से start करें, there could be miscarriages, then hyperemesis gravidarum, anemia, preeclampsia. All these we've discussed. There can be hydramnios in 10% of the cases. GDM, gestational diabetes mellitus, 2 to 3 times more common in twin pregnancies or multifetal gestation. Then there could be antepartum hemorrhage, which could be a maternal complication during pregnancy, both placenta previa and placenta. क्योंकि अगर सिंगल भी है प्लेसेंटा तो बड़ा होता है size of placenta, so at times it encroaches the lower segment. Then there can be cholestasis in pregnancy, which is a very common association. Then malpresentations common होती हैं. इतना over distension की वजह से preterm labor के chances जो है काफी हद तक बढ़ जाते हैं. Then 50% of the time twins 37 weeks पे ही labor पे चली जाती हैं. Triplets होती हैं तो और जल्दी 34 weeks पे. Quadruplets होती हैं तो और जल्दी 30 weeks पे भी जो है preterm labor set in कर जाता है. Then coming on to mechanical distress में मैंने आपको बताया कि जो है woman can have complications like palpitations. She can experience palpitations, dyspnea. I gave you the reason also, varicosities, hemorrhoids. These are very common associations. Then at times obstructive uropathy भी होती है. Woman complains of कि जो है मतलब she can complain of retention of urine. Also because of, especially in the early part of pregnancy, there could be, retroverted uterus tha to retroverted gravid ho gaya, retroverted gravid uterus with twin gestation, so these things could be there. And again, once you get ultrasound done and this and that, that you can expect these sort of complications, maternal complications in a case of multi fetal gestations. Then coming on to what are the maternal complications during the labor and the puparium. So during labor there can be PROM, premature or pre-labor rupture of membranes. Then there can be malpresentations. एक दाहिने हाथ में अगर आप देखें on to the right, there is a very good picture of which we have been seeing since our undergraduate days. It is a picture from beautiful picture from the Holland and Bruce, which I saw in my third year, like all of us. And इसमें ये है कि पहला बच्चा, both the fetuses are in longitudinal lie. The first one was presenting as breech and the second one as vertex. Now the breech fetus delivered, and before the engagement of the first head, the head of the second fetus is coming down and engages. So the fetuses are locked. So this is a very good picture of locked twins. So now coming on to, I would come back to maternal complications. Again, come back onto the left side. The complications during labor are premature pre-labor rupture of membranes, malpresentations, cord prolapse. Cord prolapse का मतलब ये होता है कि membranes rupture कर गई हैं और cord बाहर निकल आई है, चाहे वो vagina में हो और चाहे वो कई बारी बाहर भी आ जाती है. So this is cord prolapse is a very common what do you call complication, then incoordinate uterine contraction. Why? Because the uterus is unduly enlarged. Then there is increased chances of operative interference, locked twins, the picture which we just discussed, then placental abruption after delivery of first baby, क्योंकि एकदम से इतना distended uterus थोड़ा सा contract करता है तो suddenly placenta की sharing होती है और abruption हो जाती है. Then postpartum hemorrhage, again over distension होता है, twin, and it doesn't, the fibers are all, as we say that the fibers in the uterus, we've all studied that, you know, they're arranged, they're in three layers, the outer longitudinal, the inner circular, and the middle are the mixed. इनके बीच में वेसल्स दौड़ती हैं. जब यूट्रस अच्छे से कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं करता है तो ये वेसल्स डायलेटेड रहती हैं. पोस्टपार्टम हैमरेज होता है, अगर अच्छे से कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर जाती हैं तो इन वेसल्स को वो कंस्ट्रिक्ट करता है और ये लिविंग लिगेचर्स होते हैं यूट्रस का मस्कुलेचर. नाउ एवरीथिंग इज इन ट्विन जेस्टेशन, इट इज अनड्यूली डिस्टेंडेड, उतना अच्छा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर नहीं सकता, चांसेस ऑफ postpartum hemorrhages are more. So I just took you back to physiology of pregnancy, you know. I took you back to your undergraduate days, and you know, just this is how we teach. So it the understanding and the learning becomes better. So the postpartum hemorrhage predisposed hota hai. This is a very important maternal complication during labor and puerperium after delivery. Then during puerperium, of course, subinvolution hota hai, chances of infection are there, lactation failure are there. All these are due to an unduly enlarged uterus. Now, coming on to fetal complications, the fetal complications could be spontaneous abortion, intrauterine fetal deaths are common, low birth weight babies, of course, because of preterm labors. Then there is prematurity. Then there is growth restriction, of course, two fetuses, and maybe she's not coming on regular follow-ups, maybe she's not taking her supplementations, maybe she's not resting as much as she could. So there could be fetal growth restriction, FGR or IUGR. Now, the currently accepted term is the FGR, or the fetal growth restriction, which is rightly mentioned here. Then there is cord entanglement, congenital anomalies, neural tube defects, like anencephaly, conjoined twins, of course, are present. Then preterm births, they can be twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, which can be diagnosed on on Doppler ultrasonography. They could be locked twins. Then asphyxia, cord complications like cord prolapse. There could be abruption. All these could lead to fetal asphyxia. Then there could be stillbirths. Stillbirth, the causes could be antepartum, or antepartum could also, complications could also lead to stillbirth. Now coming on to antenatal management. So first and foremost in the management, antenatal में क्या करना है? Monitor the fetal growth every 4 weeks. As I said, हर चार हफ्ते में आप अल्ट्रासोनोग्राफी करा के देखिए कि fetal growth restriction तो नहीं हो रहा है. Now when it comes to diet, you give an additional 300 kilocalories per day, increase proteins, 60 to 100 milligram of iron, and 1 gram of folic acid extra. Then tell her to rest more. And hospitalization, of course, is not a routine, but yes, if required, admit the patient. Then provide routine antenatal care, but stress upon frequent visits. Tell her that if at the slightest bit of problem, come back for an antenatal visit. So routine antenatal पे आए, और frequent visits पे भी अगर उसको कभी भी, emphasize on more rest in the later trimester. Warn the woman, tell her about the danger signs that due to over distension, you know, you can go in for preterm labor and etc. And then tell her कि जो है early rupture of membranes हो सकता है, complications के बारे में आप उसको बताइए कि बच्चे को भी दिक्कत हो सकती है, तुमको भी दिक्कत हो सकती है. So once you emphasize, tell her about the warning signs and symptoms, emphasize on rest, and I think you will be able to go a long way. Then increase calorie, protein intake, and iron supplementation. Refer the woman to the district or medical colleges for definite decision and regarding the mode of delivery. Last में जाके आप confirm करिए lie और presentation के क्या है, और अगर कोई दिक्कत है, आपके पास अल्ट्रासोनोग्राफी की सुविधा नहीं है, तो रेफर करिए, और वहां पे यहाँ पे हम सब कुछ करवाएंगे और पेशेंट को बताएंगे कि जो है सेफ डिलीवरी के लिए उसको कहाँ पे डिलीवर करना है. So either refer if you are in district, then well and good, you have all the, but if you are in not in the district or in a medical college, please refer the patient to us. All complicated twin pregnancies should be counseled to deliver, as I just said, at district or in medical colleges. Then corticosteroids, हमने अपने previous PROM में भी डिस्कस किया था कि कॉर्टिकोस्टेरॉइड्स आप अगर थ्रेटन प्रीटर्म लेबर हो रहा है तो दीजिए, उसमें आप डेक्सामेथासोन भी दे सकते हैं, आप बीटामेथासोन भी दे सकते हैं। वो हमने आपके साथ डिस्कस किया था। इंट्रामस्कुलर लगाते हैं डेक्सामेथासोन 6 मिलीग्राम को जो है आप 4 डोजेस में लगाते हैं ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 12 आवर्स अपार्ट, ओवर 48 आवर्स। वो आपने बीटामेथासोन दिया तो आपने 12 मिलीग्राम एट एन इंटरवल ऑफ 24 आवर्स आपने उसको कवर कर दिया फॉर लंग मेच्योरिटी if there is threatened preterm labor. Now coming on to how will you deliver the first twin. आपने first twin का आपने confirm किया कि presentation क्या है, आपने labor को progress होने दिया, और जैसा कि labor चलता है, labor का progress हम एक partogram में देखते हैं. I always emphasize on partography, and everybody emphasizes on partography. It is an integral part of monitoring during labor. There is nothing मतलब short of a partogram. Partogram आपको सब कुछ बताएगा. It is very important. So please monitor the progress of labor on a partogram. IV line must be maintained. You ensure that there is an IV line. Perform an episiotomy or give an episiotomy if needed. Conduct the delivery as usual, which we shall be showing you in the demo. After delivery of first baby, clamp the cord at 2 places and cut in between, जैसा कि होता है. And an absolute no is, please इसको remember करिए. और ट्विन डिलीवरी जब हो रही हो तो आपके साथ जो सिस्टर हो या जो भी हो आपके, जो कि इंजेक्टेबल दे रहा हो, या आपके साथ आपका कोई जूनियर डॉक्टर खड़ा हो, या जो भी हो, प्लीज इंस्ट्रक्ट करिए कि डू नॉट गिव ऑक्सीटोसिन आफ्टर डिलीवरी ऑफ फर्स्ट बेबी. दैट इज, आपको एक्टिव मैनेजमेंट ऑफ थर्ड स्टेज नहीं करना है after delivery of the first twin. Please remember, it is an absolute no, and this is very important. Now delivery of the second twin. Perform the abdominal examination and a vaginal examination to check the lie of the twin, and then auscultate of the second twin. This is, you usually, ये सब side by side चल रहा होता है, साथ ही fetal heart भी जो है monitor हो जाती है. ठीक है ना. उसके बाद if the lie is longitudinal or the or vertex, then see if the membranes, it is very important on vaginal examination to see whether the membranes are ruptured or not. If the membranes are ruptured, immediately carry out the vaginal examination. If not, do a vaginal examination, fix the presenting part and carry out an ARM. क्या हुआ, आपका फर्स्ट बेबी डिलीवर कर गया, उसके बाद आपने सेकंड ट्विन का लाई देखा, लाई एंड उसका कि क्या लाई एंड लॉन्गिट्यूडनल है आपका, आपने प्रेजेंटेशन देखा. उसके बाद आपका ये आपने वेजाइनल एग्जामिनेशन में देखा कि मेम्ब्रेन्स रप्चर्ड है कि नहीं मेम्ब्रेन्स रप्चर्ड है. अब आपका मेम्ब्रेन्स अगर रप्चर्ड नहीं है तो आप ARM करिए. अगर यूट्राइन कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस नहीं आ रहे हैं ARM करने के बाद, यू कैन स्टार्ट सिंटोसिनॉन 5 यूनिट्स ऑफ ऑक्सीटोसिन infusion at the rate of 30 drops per minute and conduct a normal vaginal delivery or an assisted vaginal delivery in the usual manner, जैसा भी required हो. अब कभी भी आपको लगे इस दौरान पे डिलीवरी ऑफ सेकंड ट्विन पे, if there is excessive vaginal bleeding or there is fetal distress or cord prolapse, then hasten the delivery by using forceps if there is a vertex presentation, or if it is a breech, perform a breech extraction. If the lie is transverse, you do a vaginal examination and you will confirm कि अब इसकी membranes intact हैं कि नहीं. अगर membranes intact हैं, perform an external version, external cephalic, head को नीचे लाइए. Then if the membranes are ruptured, then you on vaginal examination you perform you find that the membranes are ruptured, do not go in for an ECV, go in for an internal podalic version and perform a breech extraction. So again, last point appreciate kariye, if lie is transverse, if membranes are intact, attempt external version. If external version fails, do ARM. In case where membranes are already ruptured, do not attempt on external version, but proceed directly to internal podalic version. So now I will recapitulate this with you in absolutely simple terms. अगर twin आपने palpation में देखा कि transverse है, तो आपने क्या किया, आपने फटाफट देखा कि यहाँ पे membranes on vaginal examination intact हैं कि ruptured हैं. अब आपकी membranes intact हैं, आपने एक्सटर्नल वर्जन किया अगर पॉसिबल हुआ. अगर एक्सटर्नल वर्जन केफालिक वर्जन पॉसिबल हुआ, हेड नीचे ले आया, तो आपने मेम्ब्रेन्स रप्चर करी और आपने नॉर्मल वेजाइनल डिलीवरी करा दी. अब अगर आप एक्सटर्नल केफालिक वर्जन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं एब्डोमिनली, जो कि हम आपको अभी दिखाएंगे, और नहीं पॉसिबल है तो आप मेम्ब्रेन्स रप्चर करिए और इंटरनल पोडालिक वर्जन करिए. Now, this was the case when the membranes were intact. Now, if the membranes are ruptured, you will not perform an external cephalic version. You will directly go in for an internal podalic version and perform breech extraction in case where the membranes are ruptured or where the external cephalic version fails. All right. We will show this to you on demo also. Now, what are the indications for cesarean section in case of twin pregnancy or multiple gestation? Indications for cesarean would be non-cephalic presentation of the first twin. Then monoamniotic twins. If you go back to the picture on your first slide, you had seen the monoamniotic twins, that is one एक ही amniotic sac में दोनों twins थे. Then conjoined twins, locked twins. Other obstetrical conditions, there are some other obstetrical conditions like if it's a contracted pelvis ही है, तो आपको उसको C section करना है, आप थोड़ी उसको जो है normal delivery कराओगे. So obstetrical conditions like this. Then if there is placenta previa, so these are obstetrical indications for cesarean section. Apart from there being multiple gestation or twin pregnancy. Then second twin, but the cervix has closed and it's a correctable line. Now management of third stage of labor. After delivery of second twin, perform AMTSL, that is active management of third stage of labor. So jo aap 10 units of syntocinon intramuscularly lagate ho, that would be after delivery of second twin. So you perform AMTSL after delivery of second twin. Then start 10 international units oxytocin drip at the rate of 20 drops per minute to avoid PPH or postpartum hemorrhage. Then interval between the deliveries should be between up to about 15 minutes, but it should never exceed more than 30 minutes. All right. Now we'll show you the demonstration of the how to perform, how to examine, palpation in case of twin pregnancies. Then we will show you a demo on how to deliver, how to perform the twin deliveries, and so that it gets absolutely imprinted in your minds, and there is no problem during deliveries. But certainly if you're not at district and if you feel you don't have a gynecologist, please, timely referrals I think would go a long way again in reducing maternal mortality and morbidity.